Hey folks, Gary back with you, West Family RV Adventures. We're looking at the rear end of our new tow vehicle, well, new to us. This is a 2020 F-350 XL. We picked this up to tow our 33-foot 7-inch Puma travel trailer that we had been pulling for the last few years with our F-150. And it did a great job. We just wanted something a little bit more. This is our first trip of 2025 and we're down at Moody Beach Campground in Wells, Maine. And I got a little project today. I'm embarrassed to tell you that I just assumed that this came fully equipped with a full tow package. Didn't even realize it till after the fact that no, we don't even have a trailer brake controller on this vehicle. Right here on the dash is typically where the trailer brake controller goes and has the manual override that you'll squeeze in. So anyway, we do not have one. I could order an OEM one from the factory and they're upwards of $359. So I did a little bit of research and I'm going to show you what I'm going to go ahead and opt for instead. And if you ask, you mean you towed it down there without a trailer brake controller? I did. I towed the vehicle, the travel trailer, 2.5 hours, and I'm definitely going to have a trailer brake controller on the way home. So I did quite a bit of research, and this is what I decided to go with. This is a Tekonsha, if I'm pronouncing that right, Prodigy P3, and this here is a special adapter that should plug in their product with the OEM harness that Ford provides, and the trailer brake controller harness should be wired in already to the F-350, even though I don't have the actual controller. So we should be all set when we start pulling apart the dashboard. But I actually watched quite a few reviews and videos on eTrailer.com, which is obviously a real popular site for travel trailer enthusiasts. They sell all kinds of equipment and whatnot, and they rate this Prodigy P3 very, very highly. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the dashboard apart now. So I've had this dashboard apart before. I installed this 14.4-inch aftermarket CarPlay. I had to kind of pull things apart for that. And now I've got this new backup camera system all installed. I've got my T-Mobile. Oops, not supposed to take that on the road, am I? I've got everything all nice and tight and, all hooked together. Gonna have to take a little time, pull everything apart. Here's a little hack. I don't know if I'm the genius that did it first, but any of you that have the F-150s through 350s, this little tray area up here, I did the same thing for rear view camera monitors and things on my F-150, but just took a block of wood. Yeah, that happens to be like a 2x6. Yeah, and then I just cut it down, painted it black, slid it in here, and then I can screw my mountain bracket to the wood for my rear view camera. And also I'm using Velcro straps on this modem to keep it from jiggling and whatnot as we head down the road. So that's a little thing that's worked out well for us. All right, back to taking this baby apart. Okay, so I might have left this part out. There's a little rubber cover here. You just kind of pull that right out. That exposes a couple bolts, and I've already started them, but these are, I think they're 7mm heads on there. So there's two, and I'm going to take those out. Okay, after you take these two bolts out, there are two more, but they're hidden underneath this tray. So I'm going to use a auto body tool and pull this tray out. Anyway, I'm gonna have to use two hands, but anyway, this is the type of tool I use, and I'm gonna pull that tray right out, set the camera down. Okay, once you use a tool to get this tray popped out, you will see there are two more 7mm bolts to remove. Okay, once you get those two nuts, bolts pulled out, you should be able to just pull your radio unit backwards. I don't know if you have CarPlay, whether you have a factory unit, but you should be able to pull it right back. I'm going to try to pull it back as little as possible because I don't want to have to pull any wires apart. I want to try to leave as much in its place as possible. So I'm going to slide this back though. So I pulled my head unit out, and I've got the weight of it resting on the top of a Coca-Cola bottle. There's another hack for you. Hopefully it'll stay in place. Now the next thing I need to do is pull this apart, okay? And I know that there are some sensitive tabs that tend to break. I've watched a few other videos about this, so I'm going to be real careful on this one. I'll probably have to show you after the fact. There is a cover. See the gas pedal? There's a little cover here right to the right of the gas pedal. Probably can't see. Yeah, you can see, okay? That's another 7mm bolt, and I'm going to have to loosen that up so I can get this bottom cover apart. I think I have to take the lower part apart first and then the top, the middle. Okay, I got that 7mm bolt out. You can see this kind of pulls away. Okay, now I should be okay to start pulling this off. This right here. This whole area right here. I need to snap that back. So I should mention, if I hadn't already mentioned, the whole purpose of getting access to this is behind this dummy tray should be the factory OEM harness for the trailer brake controller. Alright, so I've gotten it pulled off, and want to be careful. There's that wire for the four-wheel drive selection. I don't know if I'm going to pull that apart or just leave it in place and work around it, but I'm going to pull this tray out. Okay, so there's the dummy tray, and there it is. There is the factory OEM trailer brake control wire system. So we're getting there. So folks, I'm trying to think cosmetically how we want to go about this. I think I'm going to mount my controller below the dummy. This is where the normal, if I had the OEM one, it would be right here. I'm going to put the dummy tray back in. I think I'm going to mount it down here, but I think I'm going to run my wire out through the dummy tray. So in order to do that, I need to pull this off and drill a hole. Okay, so this is my Tekonsha adapter from it's an adapter harness that goes from the P3 to the OEM trailer brake controller wiring harness that was, as I showed you earlier, inside the F-350. Alright, of this adapter, this is the smaller end, so I need to feed it in through this dummy tray through here. And I wish I had a multi-mate, but I didn't pack a multi-mate, so I'm just going to get my drill out and just drill along until I can slide that through. So I'm just going to drill a series of holes in here, and then I'll update you in a moment. Okay, as you can see, I was able to drill a hole through there, a series of drills, small holes, and brought them all together. Didn't have a multi-mate, so you make do with what you have. So here's where we're going to bring my aftermarket travel trailer electronics and the Ford OEM electronics. Going to bring them together with this adapter. So if you do buy an aftermarket trailer brake controller, chances are you'll need to buy a adapter that's compatible with your vehicle. So don't think you can just buy the box and run. So they connected perfectly, and I'm just going to kind of stuff everything back in, put my dummy tray back in place, and then we'll update you in a moment. Okay, I was able to gently snap all of this back in place. Now I'll put this bottom apron back on, reinstall my 7mm lower bolt, and then we'll pick it up from there. Hey guys, this is kind of awkward to get to, so I just took my long socket, 7mm long socket, off my ratchet, and I just did it by hand till I got it tight. Now I'll put my ratchet back on there to snug it up. Okay, now I've snapped my CarPlay head unit back on, and I'll just go ahead and put my tray back in place. Okay, my dashboard's all put back together. And I've got my adapter from my OEM brake controller wiring system, and this is going to go into my aftermarket brake controller. So now the next step is to mount it, and I believe I'm going to mount it down here somewhere. So I'm going to take a moment to look things over. So they give you hardware for a couple of different options to mount this. This is this little bracket here and here. That's for under dash mount option. I'm going to go with the traditional mount. Just use this one bracket here and then screw the unit to that bracket. They supply self-tapping little machine screws. Hopefully that plastic of this truck is going to be solid enough to mount this bracket to it. Looks like I lost a clip. I hope I'm not screwing right through something. Maybe that goes to my radio head unit. I've been trying to hand screw that little quote unquote self-tapping screw. It doesn't seem to want to go in. I'm going to introduce my battery drill. See if I can get those threads to work their way in there. And that seems to be doing the trick. I'm going to try to level that up before I tighten that screw up. Hey folks, you want a good laugh? You want to know why this little screwdriver didn't put those self-tapping screws in? Too loose! Wrong tool. Okay folks, I've got my bracket mounted, and now I think that's solid enough, I hope. And now I'm going to go ahead with these machine screws that they provided and come in through the side of the bracket into the brake controller unit. And these are Phillips screws. Okay gang, I've got the hardware all installed. I'm not going to go through the application yet because I need to do a little study myself. But everything should be wired just perfectly into the OEM harness that comes with Ford. And this obviously, just a quick look, this is the manual braking system if you just want to run the brakes on your trailer and not even apply the brakes on your pickup truck. But there it is. Hopefully this is helpful to anybody that's going to install one of these Tekonsha travel trailer brake controller units.